It is the 9th of July, and this day in Baptist history, our reading is Assassination by an Association. Our text is Acts chapter 20, verses 28 through 32. Take heed, therefore, unto yourselves and to all the flock over the which the Holy Ghost hath made you overseers, to feed the church of God, which he hath purchased with his own blood. For I know this, that after my departure shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also of your own self shall men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them. Therefore watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I ceased not to warn everyone day and night with tears. And now, brethren, I commend you to God and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up, and to give you an inheritance among all them which are sanctified. Though some claim to believe the old maxim, laws are made to be broken, we should remember that principles exist to be kept inviolate. One of the basic historical distinctives of Baptists has been the autonomy of each local New Testament church. Baptists believe that every local congregation has the absolute right of self-government and must be free from the interference of any hierarchy of individuals or organizations. Edward Hiscox, considered the specialist in Baptist jurisprudence, wrote, and I quote, "No church is obliged to unite with them, that is, an association, and if so united, can leave them when they wish," end of quote. And again, I quote, "Associations are of human, not divine appointment. They have no control over churches," end of quote. As a young preacher of the gospel, I led several congregations into fellowship with the Conservative Baptist Association of America. I was assured, according to the Constitution and Declaration of Faith that was adopted by that national association on May 17, 1947, in Atlantic City, New Jersey, that, and I quote, "the association shall not infringe in any way upon the autonomy of any local church," end of quote. I believed them and still believe that an association should assist a local congregation to accomplish collectively what a single church cannot fulfill individually. I was so pleased with the back to the Bible emphasis in the Conservative Baptist Association that I consented to allow my name to be placed in nomination and was elected to the board of the Conservative Baptist Association of America. However, it was not long before I personally witnessed spiritual entropy as it developed in the movement. Politics became more important than principles, and compromise became the order of the day. It was necessary to extricate myself and my influence from that movement before it apostatized as greatly as the movement from which it had come. I had been aware of continual spiritual erosion in the overall Conservative Baptist movement, but it was difficult to believe the article that appeared in Christianity Today on October 9, 1995. The caption of the article read, "Conservative Baptist Church sold to Hindus irks members." The article claimed that the facility had been built and paid for by the Valley View Baptist Church of Northridge, California, had been sold out from under the congregation by the Conservative Baptist Association of Southern California for more than $500,000. Could it be that a back to the Bible movement had degenerated to that position in less than 50 years? My phone call to Dr. Arthur B. Houck, pastor of the congregation, confirmed the article. He related the tragic story and then sent me copies of the evidence to validate the case. In 1993, during a period when the dwindling congregation was without a pastor, representatives of the association approached the trustees of the church and convinced them of the benefits of turning the property over to the association. The deed was recorded on December 3, 1993. The representatives of the association had warned the trustees that because Baptists practice a congregational form of church government, a hostile takeover was a possibility. Upon a hypocritical profession of faith, It is conceivable that a group of pretenders could become members and then vote to change the doctrine and direction of the church. It was suggested that the association would protect the local congregation by holding the deed. When the congregation became suspicious of the motives of the association, on March 26, 1995, the church requested the return of their deed, but their request was ignored by association officials. An association official declared that the small number of the local constituency meant that the group of believers was no longer a viable congregation. One wonders where in the history of Baptists one may conclude that the size of a church determines the matter of life or death. Tragically, July of 1995, the congregation knew nothing of the plans of the association to sell their property. When Dr. Houck learned that the association attorney had shown the property to the potential buyer, the pastor informed the congregation on July 9. Indeed, the transaction was consummated. The congregation found itself locked out of its facility, and for all intents and purposes, the church, which is the pillar and ground of the truth, was removed from that location by greedy religious politicians. There are many lessons that one might learn from this case, but basic to all else is the fact that the autonomy of the local church demands that the title deed be controlled by the local congregation. These Baptist distinctives must be perpetuated in every generation if we are to remain a viable witness for Christ. The members of the Valley View Baptist Church conducted a funeral service on November 28, 1995 for their building. Indeed, it died to the cause of Christ and became a heathen temple for filthy lucre's sake. Though the California judge ruled in favor of the association, I cannot help but wonder how the just judge will rule at the judgment seat of Christ. For it is he who, and I quote, hath purchased the church with his own blood. Acts 20:28. To God be the glory.